All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. For the people who tune into my morning thoughts, 6 to 7 a.m. Monday to Friday, there was no morning thoughts this Monday morning, and that is because I woke up with my face swollen and hurting, and I had to go into some emergency dental care. At this point, I'm doing this video right now. It's like 9:35 in the morning, and I have to return to the dental office by 1 p.m. Hopefully, it won't be an extraction or a root canal. Now, what I come to talk about today, people may go talk up, May I go talk up, and I need you to listen. That's why I did a voiceover on this one, because I didn't want to sit in front of the camera and you pay more attention to me and my movements and my faces than you pay attention to my words. All right, the Gleaner posted an article yesterday that says Commish, which is the commissioner, tops predecessors with a $18 million salary package. I'm guessing that's $18 million a year. That is what the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, will be receiving for his salary. Now you have to look at Jamaica, and I'm asking you, shouldn't this be a performance-based type of pay increase thing? Like, Jamaica has passed over 430 murders in the first 4.5 months of the year. Let that sink in. And then people who are responsible for these situations, handling these situations, making the place safer, these people are collecting millions in salaries, yet doing nothing as far as performance goes. If I take my car to the mechanic and I ask the mechanic to replace my radiator, but when I go and I pay $300, $400 to get my radiator replaced, and I drive away from that place and the radiator starts to leak, does that mechanic have the right to keep that money that I paid him to replace the radiator, which is now still leaking? Talk up. So the article that was posted yesterday in the Gleaner says that the Office of the Services Commission, OSC, has reserved its position and released the contract of Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, which shows the top cop with an $18 million annual salary package. Wow. $18 million. Now listen to this. The OSC had initially denied the Gleaner access to information request for the document on the basis of privacy. Now, the police commissioner, his position is a public position that is paid by taxpayers, and his duties are to the people of the country. So they have every right to know what his salary is. And yet the OSC initially denied the Gleaner access to the information, but faced significant public backlash and pushback when the Prime Minister Andrew Holness and transparency advocates declaring eventually that the public had a right to this information. So they released it eventually after they had to twist their arms to release it. And lo and behold, the people now know it's a $18 million package. But already, early reactions from national security interests suggest that the former military leader, because he came from the army into the police commissioner's position, the former military leader may be underpaid for policing a nation that's consistently among the most murderous per capita. That is what the Gleaner wrote. Now, late last year, Jamaica distinguished itself with homicide at a rate of 46.5 per 100,000, the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean region. It will take a while longer, however, to find out how Anderson's performance has been judged, as the assessment documents are still being sought by the Sunday Gleaner. Well, the Sunday Gleaner don't need to seek out that assessment document. I know what they're going to do already. They're going to compare all the years that he has been in that position, and they're going to compare the murder rate, and they're going to compare the tactics used. He used SOE, which is state of emergency, and he used the other one, and there hasn't been much change. So we the people already know that he is underperforming in this area. Anderson's 3-year contract came in for scrutiny as he neared the March 19th expiration date and subsequent confirmation from the Police Service Commission, the PSC, that it will be extended for an additional 3 years. So he has already done 3 years. What significant results did he produce in those 3 years? If someone is underperforming, they're usually taken out of that position and put someone else in who has more potential and is more capable. To extend a contract like that for another 3 years, it is my opinion that that contract should be extended if someone, or he then rather, was performing up to standards and producing results to make us say, wow, we see it. Yes, Mr. Commissioner. Yes, Andrew. Yes, Mr. Holness. Yes, Prime Minister. Give him 3 more years in there. This commissioner is the boss. He's cleaning up the place. But such is not the case. The people are bawling out, whoa, murder, murder every damn day. And a lot of these murders aren't even going solved. Jamaica still does not have a national DNA database. As police commissioner or commissioner of police, Major General Anthony Anderson should have been pushing for these things. On his watch, all these things should have done. I don't want it been done. I don't want to hear about who came before him and who did a poor job before. It is you that are in the seat, that is in the seat now. So your responsibility and your time is now. Now, under the existing contract, the commissioner's basic salary per year is $13.5 million. Remember this, 1 million Jamaican dollars is almost 10,000 US dollars. And he is getting 13.5 of those per year. So you could say he is earning, his salary is over 100,000 US dollars a year, to which is added an approximately 4.3 million more in benefits. So he's already getting a $13.5 million base salary. That's his base salary. I know enough Jamaican I look right now and I say, bomba clot. That's so much money the man I make. Over 100,000 US dollars a year as base salary. As base salary. And another 4.3 million in benefits, for a total compensation package of 17.8 million to be exact. Now, the benefits include standard features. Listen to this, such as housing. That's 1.3 million goes to housing. On call, 1.3 million. Telephone, executive dress, uniform, and 1.5 million as a fixed motor vehicle allowance. Let that sink in. Anderson is also entitled to a gratuity of 25% of his basic salary up on the completion of his engagement. Another standard feature for contracted public servants. Now, although the highest paid commissioner in at least a decade, the amount is not very far off from what has been paid to some of his recent predecessors, including those whose careers were entirely with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Now remember, his was with the JDF and transferred over into the JCF. When Major General Anthony Anderson took that position, a lot of people in Jamaica were hopeful, but we were bamboozled, we were hoodwinked, we were tricked, because a lot of us hold soldiers to a high esteem. And we are say, yeah, soldier no play, you know. So when time them soldier them come in the place, you know, say trouble. You understand? The man are going to fix up things and take control and make sure things run right. So him coming over, even though there were people who were saying that's not right, he should not have been allowed into that position. They should have promoted someone from the ranks of the JCF up the ladder. That's the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the police force. They should have promoted someone within the ranks up the ladder instead of taking someone from the army to put them into the police force. Now, that's gone. And we expected better. I myself was hopeful. Being an army man myself, I was hopeful that he would have went in there and he would have done what he had to do. Well, y'all see the murder rate. We are in 2021. Today is April 26th. And so far, Jamaica has passed over 430 murders in just that short space of time from January 1st to April 26th. Let that sink in. Over 430 murders. Now, the criminals in Jamaica is the worst part. They are not afraid. They're not afraid because there are no consequences, really. And a lot of them are aware that they can do things and get away with it. Now, whether that comes down to the JCF being understaffed, not able to monitor and cover the whole country by ground, on foot, or whatever the case may be, he is the one that is in control of that. So this is what you are being paid the big bucks for. Now, in 2010, when he became commissioner, Owen Ellington was paid approximately $9 million. This is Owen Ellington. This is history. Of which $6.5 million was his basic salary. And by the time he left office in 2014, his package had climbed to $13 million, which included a $10 million basic pay. Right? Dr. Carl Williams followed, and he served from 2014 to 2017, earning about $16 million with a $11 million basic salary pay. Now, former military chief Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin, chief constable, served from 2007 to 2009, and he took home $10 million, $8 million in basic pay, and the other $2 in those incentives. Prior to Anderson, he was the last non-JCF officer to lead the police force. Information obtained for 2017 indicated that a deputy commissioner took home approximately $11 million. $8 million of that was his basic pay. More comprehensive data on the remuneration for persons ranked immediately below the commissioner, as well as the senior leadership of the Jamaica Defense Force, are being sought from the authorities. They are not even willing to just give up all this information up front. You have to literally twist their arms to get it. Now, on a regional level, available data from the major CARICOM powers show the top Jamaica cop on par with his counterparts in Barbados, who earn a fixed, probably publicly available income of about 917,000 Jamaican dollars monthly. $11 million annually. Yeah, but look at Barbados' murder rate. Look at Barbados' crime rate compared to Jamaica's. And I don't want anybody to tell me about numbers. SouFlo, you can't compare some of them islands here to Jamaica because Jamaica has a much bigger population and is a much bigger country by square mile, footage, etc. I don't want to hear none of that. It's a large population of people. Majority of them are of African descent. They are of the Caribbean just like we are, and them not killing out them one another just like we are, to the tune of 430 in the last 4 months alone. It is reportedly lower in Guyana, where the commissioner earns about $4,000 monthly. That's $4,000 US dollars monthly. That would be roughly 600,000 Jamaican dollars monthly. In Trinidad and Tobago, the police chief, Gary Griffith, a former national security minister, earns 1/5 less than his Jamaican counterpart's basic salary. Griffith takes home Trinidad and Tobago $40,000 monthly, which is about 900,000 Jamaican dollars monthly. Deep-rooted problem, the article says. Like Jamaica, Trinidad is beset with a deep-rooted crime problem. The Twin Island nation last year recorded 395 murders. That is not into comparison with Jamaica. If Major Anthony Anderson could actually get Jamaica's murder rate down to 395 or 400 in 1 year, that would have been a big step. And when they reveal his salary of $18 million or $17.8 million per year, none of us would have been saying anything bad about this. Matter of fact, we would have been advocating for him to get a pay raise. Raise up the man pay. Because before he took that position, over 1,000, over 1,200 Jamaicans were being killed every year consistently for year after year after year after year. But since this man took position, Jamaica has only seen 400 murders. Now I know 400 murders still sounds bad, but in comparison to 1,200 and more, 1 year we went up to 1,600 and something murders in that 1 year. In addition to the compensation, Major General Anthony Anderson's contract also included provisions for his performance to be assessed, a key reason for the request of his contract. So in other words, then the Gleaner is saying that this is the reason why they requested to see the contract, because in addition to the compensation, his contract also includes provisions for his performance to be assessed. So it is time to assess his performance. It reaffirmed his duties as the operational commander for the force, but expressly noted that he was to undertake other jobs stipulated in terms of reference and performance targets negotiated with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security. Anderson is also to comply with any agreed performance appraisal system required by the PSC, as well as provide the Commission, Parliamentary Committee, or other authorities with reports as directed. Any such negotiated target have never been made public and are now the subject of an access to information request. Let me say that part again. Any such negotiated target has never been made public and are now the subject of an access to information request. So them are request the information because they have never made this type of information public. The professor, Gordon Shirley, chaired PSC, has said that it has monthly meetings with the commissioner. In addition to ones that deal with the performance of the force and Anderson's role. Even as we acknowledge that judging any commissioner is a tough task, given the many factors that contribute to crime, Professor Anthony Clayton, a security expert, said, barring any sensitive target, the metrics used to assess the commissioner's last 3 years should be shared with the public. He argued that such a disclosure would not only improve accountability, but also ensure fairness to the commissioner, whom he has hailed for anchoring institutional changes in a 156-year-old police force. I don't know what those institutional changes are. If somebody knows, please leave them in the comment section below. Please have an open mind at this discussion. We're talking about the taxpayers' money going to someone who is expected to do a job. If I bring a painter to my house and I specifically instruct the painter to paint my house black and white, and I come back and my house is painted yellow and pink, am I still supposed to pay this painter because the painter failed to do what the painter was supposed to do, signed the contract and agreed to do? We have to talk up. We have to talk up because this is no small salary. This is no liquor paying money. This is a whole heap of money. Enough people in the United States of America that are well educated and are in their positions and they're not earning this kind of money. What is he doing exactly? What are they doing exactly in this position to earn this type of a money? Come on, man. The people must demand results. We have no problem with paying you the money if you are making the results, if you are showing us the results. But we cannot be blinded to the fact that the Minister of Security, the Police Commissioner, and the Prime Minister, all three hand in hand, seem to be a bit nonchalant about the situation in Jamaica, where over 1,200 Jamaicans are murdered annually. They have not even put their heads together, all three of them, to say, listen, let's make establishing this DNA database a priority because it will help us to solve these crimes. They have not even put their head together to say, listen, let's make ramping up the CCTV program a part of this process, which will also help us to identify perpetrators in these crime situations. That way we can get a higher conviction rate. They have not put their heads together, and this is no part of their new crime plan. Una hear Andrew Holness for the longest talking about crime plan, crime plan, crime plan. But what have we seen? All we have seen is him talking about a crime plan that is in the works. It has been in the works since he has been in office, and he has been in office now. He is on his second term, and he's still talking about this crime plan that is in the works. Una no see a fool them take with her. Because by the time his crime plan is developed, Major General Anthony Anderson will have exited office with a nice pension in place after earning that amount of money annually in the millions, just like all his other predecessors. I have a feeling that when these people take office, that they take the office saying, hey, it's a good position, it's prestigious, and it pays a lot. I'm going to go in there and just do the bare minimum, get my name in the record books, secure my bank account for my family and those close to me, make sure them live a good life, and then I will exit that position just like everybody else did, and someone else will come and take up that position, and then the people can go and blame them. That has to be it. That has to be it. Now, we live in one of the most violent countries, says Clayton, a member of the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee. One of the most violent countries. Howard Mitchell, who was among the critics of the OSC's decision to initially block access to the contract, and Rear Admiral Lewin supported the principle of disclosure, but cautioned against revealing the performance targets. So they are actively working behind the scenes to keep all these information away from the public. Targets are going to be a sliding thing. You've got to appreciate that circumstances and conditions change, and those things can have an effect on target, is what Lewin said, adding that he did not recall negotiating his terms of reference with the permanent secretary during his own tenure. One has to be realistic and careful about targets. I know what people will immediately think about is number of murders and shootings. Yes, that's what I think about. Hear him now. He said, you don't want to get into a position that the first thing you try to do is to create different squads, because you are being pushed. It's not just a question of statistics, said the former commissioner. We don't care about all the complicated things behind the scenes. That is why you get paid to do that. You understand? A trigonometry teacher cannot go into the classroom and they can only teach basic maths. And then when the principal is saying, listen, we hired you to teach trig. How come you are only teaching 1 plus 2 and 3 plus 5 and 100 minus 70 and these things, basic mathematics? You're teaching on a elementary level, a lower elementary level. How come you're not able to teach as? They would fire that person and give somebody else the position who is qualified and can perform. I'm glad that there's a performance criteria. Sounds efficient. But what we need to understand is that those performance criteria are measured and they're matched, and that there is an annual report or report on a periodic basis. Me not know about all the long talking in this article to the end. I'm just going to read the rest of the article out to the end, and then I'm going to give my final summation. Given the difficulties of the job, given the lack of resources and support that the police force has been getting, once he performs, pay him what you will, if he can get your citizens to live in peace and to get our economy to not be hampered by crime, is what a lawyer said. And I absolutely agree. Once he is able to perform, then we pay him. And me say it before, We don't have a problem paying the money, but we need to see results. These people are sitting in these positions of power and doing absolutely nothing. Some estimates have put the annual cost of crime to the economy of Jamaica at $68 billion, or over 3% of its GDP. The government projected to spend $61 billion on national security for the 4-year period up to March of this year, 4 times the $14.7 billion spent for the previous 5 years. Me want to know which part the money they go. If they have projected to spend $61 billion on national security for the 4-year period up to March of this year, 2021, which is 4 times the $14.7 billion that they spent for the previous 5-year period, we want to know, where is that money going? Okay, you have a budget of $61 billion to spend on crime, making the place better, national security, shoring up national security. What have you done that costs that much money? Anderson's tenure has been a focus on improving the force's public communication, welfare boost for cops, target on criminal gangs, and crucially, the introduction of zones of special operation and the widespread controversial use of rights curtailing state of emergency, or SOE, in normal policing, which is now being challenged in the courts. That's all we ever get, ZOSO and SOE. Zones of special operation and state of emergency. That's it. And the people been saying for the longest that not fix nothing. That's not fixing nothing. I've even spoken about how they conduct these operations, forewarning the gunmen and the badman them that I'm going to be in your area around this time on this date, and we're going to stay there from this time till this time. All the badman them do is organize around them once the information is released. So that's why you see the murder rate travels in Jamaica. One time, Mobay turn up, or St. James turn up, and next time, Westmoreland turn up, and next time, Clarendon turn up. That's because they know when they're coming, so them just move to our next place and continue with their badness. You understand? And they meaning the Prime Minister, the Major General Anthony Anderson, and for National Security Minister, they all have been using the same tactics and getting the same results. A wise man once said the true definition of crazy, right, or insanity, is getting up and doing the same thing every day expecting different results. Why are we paying these men these high salaries to get up every day, do the same thing, and expect different results? So we are paying them to do insane things then, and we are expecting better results to happen. Now, in recent reports on his tenure, Anderson noted that murder reduction in communities where SOE were declared, the arrest of 167 gangsters, and a clear-up rate when the police charge a suspect, moving from 39% in 2019 to 53% in 2020. Me no know about all that. All I know is we have had over 430 murders from January 1st till today, which is April 26th of 2021. From January 1st till April 26th of 2021, over 430 murders in the country. And I bet you money they have less than 200 of those perpetrators who committed those murders in custody right now. You know what that means for us? That means here are seasoned murderers out there walking around amongst the people who have murdered before and murder again and know now that they can get away with it. And I know everybody say, yes, God will fix this and long run, short catch, and eventually their day will come. Well, guess what? Until their day come, citizens will continue to be murdered. Yes, a lot of these murders are domestic issues. Man, I kill them woman because the woman want to leave. Those kind of things. Police commissioner, prime minister, and minister of security. These people cannot control those things. This is where the responsibility of the citizens take place. However, to find who is doing the other gross types of murders. Every day we hear about body found over here, man found decapitated, man found in car, even security force members, police officer found sitting in a car with gunshot wound to the side of his head and all these things. And none of those people are being caught. What is the crime plan? When will this crime plan kick into play? When will they actually start to make Jamaica safer? When will they actually start to earn this money that they're being paid? Pardon me for being a bit not too optimistic, but a bit pessimistic. But $17.8 million per year in a country where a majority of the people in the country are borderline poverty as far as their earnings go. Do y'all know what the base pay for minimum wage is in Jamaica? And these people that work at minimum wage, they are expected to perform at top quality for minimum wage pay. So why should we not hold people in these positions of power accountable and make them perform up to standards and give us good results? If other Caribbean islands can bring their murder rate to 300 per month, they went for Trinidad. I think Trinidad is the next highest one. And even grasping at straws and trying to use Trinidad in comparison, at 300 and something last year, murders in Trinidad, we still look bad because ours is 1,000 and something. Talk up in the comment section. Let me hear what you have to say. You give me your assessment in the comment section. Do you think that Andrew Holness is earning his money? Do you think that Major General Anthony Anderson is earning that 17.8 million? This is his annual salary. And do you think that the Minister of National Security, Horace Chang, is earning his money? Or am I right when I say that these three need to put their heads together, come up with a solid plan, and show the people results? Let's talk about it. It's SouFLoTV. Catch you on the next video. I'm out. Walk good, my people. One love. Peace.